started again today. Again and again and again. That's all they do. So I start rambling about stuff. Scatter. Imagine that one. Yeah, imagine that one. Yeah. Today is November 10th, 22. Because November 6th on Sunday at Central Baptist West Hus, inside in front of people, my phone's tapped. It's like carrying a micro. You know how people wear bugs and they go in and people talk? I carry mine around. My phone's tapped. It's on all the time so they can hear. I basically carry the bug in my hand. Okay? It's like February 2nd, them meaning to drug me and tell me to say stuff, and people ran out because they saw the login. Well, November 6, 22. They are in their meeting in Central Baptist, 10 o'clock in the morning. That the agent that I called back was the one that told on me the night before. And that officer witnessed it. Okay? And then I told you about November 8th at SIPO Library on 12th Street. Took the day hab there, seeing a counselor from Faith Family Church, name's Krista. Known her for years. Seen her walking around watching me. Okay? And I thought, oh, they have people watch me because they lie to them. I have charges and I have nothing. And she should know better. She used to be a counselor of mine. Okay? And I'm helping my day program, for adult program. I do like a day hab. And I'm helping all the people I help take care of. And we go, and I go to leave, and she's out walking around the van. I'm like, hi, you know. I get the people in the van, and I walk on the other side. And she's like, hi, how are you? And I'm like, oh, it's been rough. I said, you know, my ex-husband was dating retired Judge Pete's daughter, Michelle, while we were married. And they kicked in my door and were stalking me. And they date rape drugged me and told me to say a bunch of stupid stuff. And apparently I've heard they photoshopped a shower scene to make me look weird. She's like, you will be found innocent of this. I looked at her and started laughing. I said, I already was. I was found innocent of everything years ago. I said, I just passed an FBI background check. I just got my medical certification to pass medicine in the state of Ohio. I've passed several in the last few weeks. She's like, I gotta go. Okay? Well, my client that lives on Turquoise Street, about 4 o'clock on November 8th, 22, cars bugged. Everybody with log in her. Michelle's out there. Krista called us. Told me none of this is funny, what's going on. See, they lie to people, have charges. I've never been questioned wrongdoing. They can't kick in your door, Photoshop scenes. Brag they did it. You wake up with bruises or got sick on drinks and they date rape, drugged you and told you to say something stupid and you're in trouble. Come on now. Well, Michelle's off in the distance. Krista called us. Okay? And no, she didn't know we were dating while they were still together. No, nobody should say a word to her. All those people only helped us get everything, and that's it. They did all those things, all those tapes before were them and not her. And all these people helped out in this just for us to get everything, nothing else. Nobody should ever say a word to her. Krista said that she takes care of people for a living and just got some kind of medical license. And I called him, and he said she's always been good at taking care of people, and it figures that's what she's doing for a living in life. Or a living. I took care of his mother when I was 18. And it's how the bastard repays me. Well, Michelle was out there on November 8th, 22, about 4 o'clock, off of Terrify Street, in the distance, telling all those people to leave me alone, that all these people just did all this stuff to me for them to get everything, even before. Where they lied, the police were in my house before I went to the police up there, because I'd sue the hell out of them. It's private property. That's all what these people are saying they did is illegal. And if none of our officers were in your home or had any knowledge of anybody being in your home, that would be illegal. I said you couldn't look or listen. It's the Fourth Amendment. Police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life. And they have to speak to everyone before they start. Yes. I said, otherwise it's illegal search and seizure. Yes. You got to think you have a right to privacy. You have a right to remain quiet. You have a right to an attorney. You have a right to a fair court trial, bail, and bond. You have a right not to be mistreated. And you have a freedom of speech. You can tell anybody anything in a witness protection program, and they can't open their mouth to you. And a lot of people stay in contact with their family. They just have you write out your witness and they get you the hell out of here so they don't kill you. But they call August 10th or 11th, 22, Walmart 62 by the hair salon. They still have the tape. People follow me, breaking Holly Caldwell. And explained Michelle, and he set me up. Canton FBI should have never got my case. I lived in Portage County. He had to have grabbed it. Off the hotline, because he was already helping them out for Michelle. He could be one of her old lovers or a family friend, because if Michelle's that young blonde girl from Faith Family Church, her and her mean friends, she was 19, 20 tops, 95 to 105 pounds. She was pretty, but she wasn't real pretty. She was just okay. And it said her dad worked the case, and she admitted to seeing me in the bath. She was a pea sweater girl. That where I was, she watched me in the bathroom on the toilet, mental ill stuff. I had stood up, had a cardigan on, sweater slid down while I was flushing the toilet, and I reached over and pushed it up, not thinking, and I'm like, oh crap, well, I'm OCD off the chart. So I flushed the toilet, took the sweater off, washed my arms up to my elbows, actually a couple times. Then I went in and I tried on 2 different sweaters and went to church. I go in and me and friends don't sit by her. She has a pea sweater on. They even came in while I had my grandsons there and were sitting behind me. I'm glad they beat her. I'm glad they raped her. I just looked at her. I was afraid to let my grandkids go to Sunday school in the classes because I was afraid some idiot would say something. Now, and a lot of the officer that raped me, and Usher yelled at him, he went there too. It's a church of 3,000. That's probably why Dave freaked out when I started going there, because one of his new girlfriends that was helping do all this to me went there. That's why a lot of them helped out. Pastor Mike will be furious. These people running their own little domestic terrorism group. Because he has several mega churches. And I'm telling you, those mean girls, when they were sitting there saying, we're glad they raped her, we're glad they beat her. And it was her, that young blonde girl. Said her dad worked the case and all this other stuff. And the girl said, do you think those guys will rape somebody for us? Oh yeah, well, all we have to do is ask them. They'll beat and rape somebody for you. Anthony Sowell was one of the bastards that killed people, cut them up, and put them in buckets. Jeffrey Dahmer, Jim Jones. Serial killers. That's what these people are. They're nothing but pure evil. I've never been questioned for wrongdoing. I've never been prosecuted. I've never been found guilty. Some guy was outside my clients on Turquoise Street. They want to label her the woman too stupid for another man because she didn't know what they were doing to her. They'll never say anything to her what they did to her. He was pissed. You know why they call me stupid? Because I'm their victim. That's how mentally ill they are. This whole thing's mentally ill. None of it's funny. They could have took up $50 offerings and came up with enough money and paid me off. Oh, and 2 of the guys that worked the case said, you know, where John's kid said some other lady in the church bought him a bike, it was actually Katie Brothers. The heavy-set girl that her husband left her a cattle farm. She has a dairy farm and horses. She's worth millions. Beth and Mike are supposed to live on there and help run it. She could sell the dairy farm. She could have just took a $100,000 loan on it. It's worth millions. She works in that jewelry store probably just to get away from it. She lives on a dairy farm. They had an outing out there once, and it's huge. Lines and lines of cows at dairy farm. They have horses. She's not poor at all. So I want you to think about how disgusting this is. All these people could have just took up a community thing. Will could have put me in the witness protection program. See, that's where Katie in January 19 was still, Katie Brothers at Ashcroft and Oak, was still bragging people were trying to kill me. And it was their church. They thought they were doing it for a 350-pound woman. And she was all excited that all these people would kill me for her. She was still in there bragging about it. Dave and I talk about it on a tape. I told Sarah to stay out of it. She's still rambling about what Katie's saying. Yeah, conspiracy to commit murder. It's real funny, isn't it? Like I said, I went to the Portage County Sheriff's. I confronted them. And they had no knowledge of you people being in my home. And what you're saying you did is illegal. That's why the other police departments are looking for them for stalking. I was with the day a week ago Thursday at Hartville Kitchen. Some guys followed me, and we find out who actually did the tapes before. They will go down for at least stalking and causing all this. It's a domestic terrorism group doing, like they told Edith Oakland Apartment December 9th, 21, it's just a bunch of men doing crimes down here to see if someone will stop them. That's it. And all the tapes before were them and not me. Even Michelle bragged it outside. No one should ever say anything to her. It's just all those people helping us get everything. Shame on all you. I got put through a concentration camp by Dave's evil girlfriends. They're 6 psychotic families, drugging the hell out of me till I'm losing 5 to 7 pounds a week while they're trying to shoot me driving. They're playing with my kids' vehicles, and they could have died. I'm facing stalkers and shooters, and if we forget, Dave tried to have me killed at Lennox before for Katie. He already wanted everything instead of them paying me off. Because it's a Jim Jones occult, including other people in domestic terrorism. Domestic terrorism is a group of people formed by religious or political backing with threats or harm to human life. Hello? To further their own beliefs, their own ideology against U.S. constitutional laws. You have a right to privacy. You have a right to remain quiet. You have a right to an attorney. You have a right to a fair court trial, bail, and bond. You have a right not to be mistreated, and you have a freedom of speech. What's wrong with this? For every constitutional right broke, it's 1 to 10. Conflict of interest is 1 to 10. And $1 million fine. It's like, are you stupid? All you do is run around lying on me and slander me that the police taped me before. The police didn't know you were in my home. And what you're saying you did is illegal, and they would never look or listen. Just like Officer Reinhardt in Louisville. It comes down to no matter what. Until Will took your statement, he agreed to protect you. FBI couldn't even be in your home. It's illegal to be in somebody's home, no matter what. That's why that officer had to talk to Dave. Police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life, and they have to speak to everyone before they start, or it's abuse and misconduct. It goes into legal search and seizure. Just like the Massillon Police, nothing they have is admissible. Department of Justice right on it. So where are you lying that the police were involved when they said they didn't know, and what you're saying is illegal? They weren't in my home or anybody else's home outside a Protect a Lie case, because that would be illegal. Nor would they look or listen. And neither did the Ravenna police, and they did not find any of this funny. Nobody does. You guys have lost your ever-loving minds for a spoiled blonde girl. You know, do you remember John the Baptist? Huh? That lady had her young daughter dance in front of the king and seduce him. And what did he offer? A third or a half of his kingdom? You know what she wanted? John the Baptist's head. She wanted him killed. She prostituted her daughter to have a man killed. And he had his head cut off. Huh? People prostituting their kids to get what they want has been happening since Bible times. It's sick. It's mental illness stuff. But it is sick. But it's happened since Bible times. These people with influences think that they can just do whatever they want to the victims and then pay people not to. This one retired to do their job. This one retired sheriff I talked to, he thinks the mafia is involved. The one guy that they said was help paying for like the cell phones and all this weird stuff, paying people to go out to eat if they follow me around harassing me, he's dead. He died. Somebody kept mentioning this guy's name and title, and I looked him up. He died in May. That's where everybody went. They were talking about that at Central Baptist. All those people that were going after it gave up because the guy that was paying for it, and he was a law enforcement, and he's supposed to protect victims, and he could have got me out of here too. And as if he didn't know, they weren't allowed to look at those tapes, and as if they didn't know that they weren't drugged and photoshopped, for we always knew the tapes before were them and not her. So we never said a word. White man, bald, dark eyes, distributing food, December 9, 21, at the Stark County Hunger Task Force on 9th Street. Canton Police found him. Or did you get a hold of Ed? Did you get a hold of the guy at the task force? They want to know if the officers assigned to carrying around the house were involved. Huh? They also talked to my neighbors, the neighbor to my one client on Chapler Church Road in Navarre. They told her everything was drugged and photoshopped. And now everybody knows, well, as the one that told on me, that officer witnessed it, and he was a Stark County sheriff, where I've been showing that picture of him from the cooking show. It's just an example. Black hair, dark eyes, and big black glasses, okay? He actually looks just like Judge Timothy Ludick. Take Ludick and take about 30 years off of him. This guy looks like he's gained a lot of weight over the last 4 years. Round up his face real good. I always said fill it out, young it. Yeah, just fill it out. I seen him in a Stark County sheriff outfit. People that watched the case, they're like, how stupid was he showing up in his uniform? Everybody kept saying they didn't know who he was, so they were letting it go. And where Paymer freaked out, my God, I had an FBI agent in my office. Will had just walked off. And that sheriff that went up there with him, the Stark County sheriff, because Will was from Canton, took it back up with him. Paymer pointed at the sheriff. And the sheriff witnessed Paymer saying, my God, I had an FBI agent coming up here asking on threats on her life. He had killed her on me. Before I called him back, so he had no right to ask me to stay quiet. They can't ask you to stay quiet because you have a freedom of speech. And the only one that can tell you to stay quiet is during a sequestered juror. And so that somebody can't bully you in a false statement like, you either say you're lying or arrest you like he did me. You know why he bullied me? Because he knew Michelle. She's probably a lover. Or a family friend. Or a family member. Because he pulled my case out of his jurisdiction. Canton should have never seen it until it was open. That way he wouldn't have badgered me, and badgering the laws, Department of Justice 1729 is obstruction to justice, him calling me a liar and forcing me to say I was lying under a threat of arrest. And then telling people they can't help me if I tell somebody. And he already told on me. And list me crazy. He's not a psychiatrist. My one friend that worked for the prosecutor's office, he can't talk to you like that, and that's illegal, and the police can't go along with it, and they know better. And the other police up there were not my home before, because I would sue them and I would own them. It's called police abuse attorneys. Breaking constitutional laws is multi-million. And they said they weren't my home before. It's just as Michelle's mother, Memorial Day weekend 2019 at the food counter, Walmart 62, and they found it last year. First, my daughter, her husband dates. He met her in Ravenna in a store when she was having a stomach spell. It's for my daughter, they did all this for her, and our family watching her doing this. They were telling him Memorial Day weekend 2019 food counter, old white woman. They found it November 23rd, 21. Fine Arts and Lasers, they show up. We found the tape of that idiot woman bragging they did all this for her daughter. August 11th, 22, apartment building for me, third one to the fence. They told one of the goons, we don't want anything to do with this. It's just that family doing it to her on their own. It's just Michelle's family and their dirty friends. And they corrupted Will. Like I said, Will's either a lover, family member, or just a dirty friend. Someone needs to fix this. Let justice come down like water, and righteousness like a mighty stream. Will could have put me in a witness protection program, had me sign an annulment, got me out of there. Let the government take care of me. Stark County Sheriffs could do it. They all know they try to kill me. They all know they could try to kill me again. That's why they hide you. So they can't try to kill you again. And they all know I'm innocent. I passed background checks like crazy, and they all know it's a shower scene. They admitted it was a shower scene, May 12, 22 at Bubba's Restaurant at noon. While the police departments are driving by, my car's bugged. And at KFC and outside before that. And all these other people witnessing that it was a shower scene in another room to make me look weird. And they drugged me and told me to say crazy crap, and it was with date rape drugs, and I have over 10 witnesses of both. I don't want to hear it. There's no damn excuse. Nobody's doing their job.